YesUs. His name was always called YesUs. The name of our Lord and Teacher is so unique and has such message with his real name. The name once understood as the personal guide to spiritual energy that is called your thought. Your thought is all God-powerful statements within your head, all collected in files of memories, some good thoughts, some thoughts not so good. Life we have lived within all of our us. If you truly wanted to become balanced in this lifetime, there is something you must do. To become balanced, you must learn to alternate your body's energies, use one hand then the other. Balance your body's God suit in all ways as you move inside gravity, as you walk and move with consciousness of thought. Think very hard these words: life is in the blood. I want to make strong my blood, nourishment of your thoughts. If you place those thoughts within your God suit, you allow your thought word energy to renew the blood and the skin. In fact, using this YesUs Christ energy technique, which is you sending with strong intentions, your own thought to every blood cell you have in your God suit. To give your own blood supply a God-centered solid backing going way inside of your own living energy field. By doing this, you will literally create a Christ, born again, life-changing renewal of God's woolly temple. The Bible says these words: life is in the blood. Do you understand metaphysically what Christ meant by these words? Christ was a metaphysician of the highest level. He was designed by God to come here and help educate the masses, before they all became, literally, the messes of today. If you think about it, when Christ was walking on the earth, the greatest living element of the earth is the miracle of man and his design in the image of God. For the greatest God creation ever done was the human being either in a man's or a woman's body. I call them God suits. Because that is what these bodies are, God suits. In the first page of the Bible it says, "Let us make man in our images." Have you ever wondered who the us was? The term us literally means all of us. All of us, here on earth. We are all one great big us. Everyone is us, and everyone has an us within each of us. This us is what God calls all of us. Inside of all of us, there is a choice for energy usage. We have been told to call the two sides of our family within by the following names. One side is called right, the other side is called left. You can tell by these names one side is treated and educated in the right way, and the other side is totally left off. The right hand is a racist. He treats the left, or in Hebrew language the ye side, as if the ye side is not as good as the right-handed world we all live in. Now wait. Are we supposed to be unbalanced in this world? Have you ever seen a right-winged seagull fly? No, why not? Oh, I see, all birds must use both wings together in order to get enough lift to fly. We too can learn to fly in so many ways that it could not be written down. What is this thing we are calling us? The universal us is the knowledge of the right and left, the ye and me, the center of the God suit. This is where God lives within all of us. Today's scientists call the center of our human God suit is called the corpus callosum. It is the center of all of us. The Jewish people called their woolly temples by the name, the center is God. This name has came down to us as the name synagogue. It is supposed to celebrate the center is of God, who is within. Are we truly learning is to drive our God suits? When we drive our God suits in the correct manner, we are driving with God as God designed our rides to be in our God suits. Everything is already mapped out for you in this lifetime. What you need to do is start listening and moving your entire God suit in a even and alternating energy manner. Can you grasp this metaphysical living concept? To learn to use your thoughts. Your thoughts move your blood around inside your God suit. YesUs, learning to edit your own mind screen in the YesUs Christ proper manner is paramount for you to learn to drive the God suit. Metaphysically speaking, the exact same number of DNA, male and female, mom and dad, are combined into a cosmic blend of thought that generated love and sex energy exchanged, which leads to the birthing of all living creatures on the earth. Think about it. Remember, the body was designed by God to be whole and complete mechanism. After all, we are all designed after the great us that we all would like to achieve. Few do, however, get there. I am hoping I can open the real teaching of YesUs the Christ. All mammals on the earth are half male and one half female. After all, it took a mother and a father to make us all, did it not? I was told by some lower-level males, saying to me, "I am not a woman, I'm a man." To those men I say, who did your father has sex with to make you? Or wait, I got it, your father had sex with himself, he fucked. This word is a short version of the word function at the junction. They just shorten this word to fuck. Instead of function, he had to fuck himself in order to be 100% male, which means that he himself fucked himself in the ass to make you. Which makes this man an asshole. No way, we are all beautifully unique and perfectly joined together as God intended for us to experience here in these wonderful God suits. But we need to learn to really use all sides of our God suits. God suits is cool to think of for every living creature on the face of Earth. The Earth. Everything is sent from God. We need to change the way we send our soldiers to foreign countries chasing ghost enemies. Under the name of freedom, we are the oppressors. Anyway, think about it. The metaphysical army we will develop would be very different from the military we know of today. Our new army would be made up of senior citizens only. Think about it. Fully outfitted for combat, walkers, wheelchairs, nursing staff in attendance. We would lease out Carnival cruise ships to transport, and no one would die unless it was from natural causes. Military deaths would drop to, oh, think about it. Our new army would be like your grandparents visiting you. Our new army of seniors would do lunches and brunches with the local people and be bussed into the local farmers market, shop, eat, poop and sleep. Maybe take a small casino trip now and then. Instead of army bases, they would be born-again retirement homes. Instead of the killing Fayeds, it would be the finest senior resort living you could ever want. Think about it. Being a tourist versus a military occupation. No more deaths in lands we should have never entered into. Praise God on that one. Are we all slaves here on earth? Yes is the answer. We are all slaves to the natural laws of God. Laws like love and gravity, for instance. Are we not slaves of gravity and its downward pour? We are all bound by our own chains of love. These are kept in ignorance from the masses, for a reason. God, this state of affairs is all planned out by our Creator God. They have come up with the critical race theory, which is a white racist materialistic view of the world. The thing that I want to share with you is that we are all in a God dream world. God has given us all comedy to laugh at and tragedy to cry. We are here to experience a scheduled lifetime experience. This is a space resort for learning about love, Earth, and these spatial acts have been going on for a very, very long time. So God made the issue of slavery for us to deal with. Slavery of the masses was and is the upper crust, the 1% goal of all materialism. Slavery started by debt. The landowner allowed people to live on his lands, but they were tenants of the first kind. They had to work in some way that pleased the landowners. If you didn't do what the landlord wants, you were kicked off the land. If the tenants grow to much debt that is not being paid, well, the only real asset that the poor have is the treasure that came from their loins. Their child is given by law to satisfy the debt. There were debtors' prisons that were full. But the problem with that solution is that it costs money to maintain and feed these debtors. This was the law of the land, debtor's prison, or give up your children as the landlord's slaves or lifetime servants to the landlord. Yes, debt is the reason why the island of Australia was occupied in the first place, where the British government sent all of the debtors if they could not pay their debt. Britain was filled with debtors' prisons, which were all filled by lower-class debtors, and these poor folks were all sent to an island prison far away from the British Isles, if that is not the start of materialized debt segregation. Debtor prison. Debt was forever. All in the name of to pay or not to pay a debt. The enslaved materialism that could pay its debt. There were no bankruptcy courts to protect anyone. Only the rich and entitled had money, which they used for control of the courts to make more wealth. Much like they do here in our world today. There is nothing new under the sun. They have done the same thing when it comes to student loans, where they say, yes, you can have the money, but you have to pay us back with interest for the rest of your life. They made it a law that a student loan cannot be dismissed in a bankruptcy court of law. Really? Wonder who made this law? Materially based idea? We are all slaves, but it is hard to break out of jail, when you didn't realize you are in a prison designed for debtors never to escape. God has given us the opportunity to change the way things are going. Well, how can we change anything, you might say to me? The point is that change begins with you changing yourself. We are now old enough to figure out things for ourselves, are we not? What we need to change is us, projection we present to the earth. Only you can prevent forest fires, and only you can decide what is the right use of us. This is the change from the me world of materialism to the divine us world within all of the earth. Okay, we can all understand wholeness, balance, so how do you get to this us-ness? You seem to know the way. We all have to learn to moderate our life energy within ye to me, and from me back again to ye. Do this enough and it doesn't matter which side does what, they become one of the one. They both conduct the same emotional energy, crossing from side to side through the center. The center is the most important part of the brain, although is rarely mentioned. The center part of our three-phase energy system is referred to as the corpus callosum, it the center line between the yin and the yang. It is the core, the center that binds us, all God together as designed by God. Praise God. We just need this YesUs data to fully understand our God suit's thought process at all. Your last used hand or side has to be used first, and the most used hand last. If you truly want to walk in the Christ path, it's all about energy usage. Energy is used when you move. Move one side too much, you drain that brain. Use the YesUs thought and see and feel the stimulation of that word placed in the correct context of the God suit. When YesUs is said, what hand you used first, all the time will be used last. What was used last, the ye shall be used first. Ye shall be one of even-handed usage for your life energy. Doing this will help all of our God suits run really well. Because that is the way we are designed to operate, that's all that's to it. Have you ever seen a right-winged seagull fly? No? Nor I? We are the only life form on Earth that can choose, I guess you would call it free will, which hand, foot or side we choose to favor. We need to learn to favor both sides like a little child would think about it. No prejudiced concepts about what us is, because as a little child you are living in us. That is the safe place, and a safe place to put your mind. But the employers of this materialist world now doesn't talk about their jobs that they offer as slavery, but I think we all know that it is. They do not talk about what they have done to all of us as their slavery drones, do they? Which for the most part we are working for the same plantation owners. Today they are the same group of yesteryear. They are just wearing different God suits. These slave owners are all the same inside. Who are they? Materialized now. The largest corporations on the face of the earth are the job landlord of today. Are these guys are the crooks that sell the gluten-filled foods that are so cheap cost-wise to make no nutritional ingredients whatsoever. Fast food prices, giving us slowly degraded health conditions caused by the clogging of the inner body by these foods, which literally turn into glue within all of us. Does this make sense to you? Our skin ages because of lack of fresh blood supply being pumped into it all the time. As we age, that becomes harder and harder to do. If you are in mid-40s, you are starting to feel this, 50s and beyond, the differences in ages 60s, 70s, but very expensive in the damages that are caused to our human bodies. I call our bodies God suits. It is easier to think of a piece of equipment that you can control than to think of yourself in an organic body that controls you. We are the living drivers in our God suits. We are not to be slaves to gravity's negative downward pour on us. Yes, we are all slaves without chains and locks on our bodies. No, the chains that bind us are within our own heads. Now the problem is that old money, the old landlord, in the past has changed into the developers of housing today. The problem is the slavery mentality is totally controlled by the materialism which has infected our democracy. We are all slaves to their debt system. Think about it. You cannot escape your own prison if you don't even know you're in jail. Our family debt today is the slavery of debt in this world of materialism. Ask yourself, what is the final goal of all materialism? The final goal is to have everyone on the planet to be addicted in some way to your materialism product or idea. The term monopoly of an idea or product is the ultimate goal of any materialistic materialist. YesUs making wealth at the cost of the spiritual emotions that make up the earth itself. The idea of sharing with someone else is a null and void concept for sure. Why? Because of materialism. The owners of any product don't want competition. Yet the idea of sharing data is very foundation of true education, is it not? The basic data is the base platform of you and me sharing with us, to make us all strong and to not destroy the earth or us, in the name of materialism. Money is material equals root of all of living backwards, evil. Do you see that? The problem is they have told us to go to college and then get into the business world, that way you can make a lot of money, then with this money you can buy things you hardly use and have to be stored in some place to protect these items from someone stealing them. The less you have clogging your mind screen, the easier it is to experience that now. With more room inside your head you can upload the love of just being you, here and now. Yes, the slave owners today are the large corporations, many are multinational billionaires, materialism type people. These folks think that everyone but their billionaire friends are no better than the N-word, both black and white. They treat us all as cattle. If you are not a billionaire, they don't want to know you or your problems at all. It is a class system we live in here in America. Think about it? Which class are you? Lower class, middle class, upper class. And then there is the 1% class? The 1% is the absolute least they have to do to help the masses. Why? Because with their model of business, if there is no profit in it, don't do it. These people, the 1%, use the masses but does little to help the masses grow inwardly. The 1% likes the difference between them and us. The 1% is totally afraid of the masses becoming us. That is sort of a unwritten law of materialism. Don't create competition. Real education is avoided like a pandemic plague. We who are the masses are fed fast food slop for history and science, and we are used by the 1% for their worker human drones. Think about it. We are all hired to do work that is required by the 1%. We are all slaves within the materialism money stream system. Thank God for his living script of life for the all of us and for his help of the unions in this country who have stood up to the 1%. Kyoto's to you all the unions. But we need to go all in, and really get involved in the game to allow you to grow in the way that the Creator meant for you live and grow now. The world needs to share data with one and then the other. We need to share everything, we all share he world shares. Let's share the data for all of us. Why don't the 1% want to share with all of us? Why aren't the 1% sharing the wealth with us? What do they have to lose? Oh yes, the 90% of all wealth on the earth. Someone should tell them that you cannot take your money with you. You can't wire wealth out of here. The Egyptians made 1000s of tomb, where they tried to take it with them. Data is the issue we need to resolve. Schooling data? We have been instructed that you need an education so you can live in the style of the educated wealthy. What do they tell the masses? Money? Don't worry about it. You can get a new car for, down and just a few $100s a month. Yes, that's right. Keep buying stuff and work hard and don't ask any questions of those who are in authority. This is the mantra of the worker drones as they work for the 401k retirement, where they have worked themselves to death and probably amassed a lot of personal debt as well. Oh well, what the hell, the masses say as they have to keep working at a jobs they do not want to be at anymore. I don't know, that kind of sounds like a sort of hell on earth to me. Having to do things all day long that you don't want to do. It's pretty degrading, isn't it? Not that doing any work is degrading, far be it from that. Working with the God suit and creating with the suit is what the God suit was designed for. The suit is designed for us to be whole energy again. So what are the rules of the game down here on Earth anyway? I have written a few of them down for you review. I am sure you can add to this list if you think about it. Some of these rules are as follows. Do as you are told. Do not question authority. It seems that we are only authorized to do as we are told. Eat food fast. So you can work faster. Have sex, make babies, pay taxes, go deep in debt. Retire and die. In a nutshell, that's what they, them and those really want for us all. They don't have us in mind for us at all. Never have, never will. We need to alter the us emotional DNA that we have been given by false and misleading data givers. All data you have been given in your past is odds-on favorite to be nothing but one half-truth dogmas, which half-truths have their origin in materialism. We have lost the value of the barter system. No money required because we traded services for services that we needed. Barter for what we want, need, or have a thought that you might need that object in the future. This is a rich man's disease in the material world. What do you really need? What do any of us really need? If you think about it, it's all about data. With data we make decisions. Without data we sit and wait for data. Christ said, "My people suffer from lack of knowledge." This is why media is so powerful. They tell us what we are supposed to think. Those that wish to control us know that if you control your thought, they control you. Believing in the false and misleading data that they shovel into our minds with relentless repetitions of drabble that the fast food operators want to shove down our thoughtful throats. Now let us get this one point down in your data book. Everything happens with a divine plan. You and I are living in one of God's divine plan. We are all here to learn lessons on love. What is love? Have you ever fallen into love? Sounds like love is something we might need to be careful of. Perhaps love is the first element we need to study here on earth. Love, it is said, is God. So do you love yourself? Do you know how to love yourself? If you do, then congratulations. This is what should be called God YesUs consciousness. God's love to all of us. True religion is the YesUs understanding of God's natural laws and sciences. Is a real deal? Israel? The name calls out for metaphysics knowledge to be studied. The Bible is a series of stories, all metaphysical drama and comedy theater. It was the way the masses could be told about themselves and others. Through entertainment. Through actors memorizing scripture and broadcasting God's word to the masses, it was the social media of its time. The Bible was the only source of data we have from the ancient days. Now this is for Western man to consume as their belief. Man who believes in one half-truth is a fool when he speaks of what he one halfway knows. So we need to change how we educate each other. With the pandemic of 2020, it seems that God wants us to make some changes. We as a species do not change easily. At some risk of death only does change occur to mankind. Once someone learns to walk in balance, then there needs to be training for alternating your usage of your life energy within your body, God suit. As a matter of fact, if we were all trained in YesUs consciousness, the world would be a different place. In this advanced educational classes you would learn to become whole as in the Christ. Remember, YesUs walked on water and could tell Peter how to drive his God suit so that Peter could defeat gravity as did YesUs. You have to use all of us to become centered in our good God UITS. The God suits work the best in alternating energy usage. That balance is what is called the grace of God. So the first thing we should be taught is the importance of grace God balanced life. Once the student is taught to use his whole body God suit, then we find out what interests the student. Where is there a passionate energy within the student? What does the student want to do? Encourage that exploration of passion. This passion of energy usually leads to a fulfilled human being in a God suit. What I am writing about is God science that once opened to the data of God consciousness of the self. A miracle happens. All possibilities are now opened into your centered conscious mind. So what are you interested in? If you do this, you will never have to work a day in your life. Years ago they had things like wood shop and auto shop. They were trying to ask the students what they were interested in. No worries, that was then, this is now. We have so many sources of data that it is almost an overload. Let the students go online and look at the various facts that are out in the world about what they are interested in. This way the student learns to become their own teachers. The most successful leaders have used this same secret to achieve their success. Do you want to know what that secret is? The secret is self-knowledge of how your God suit actually operates. How do you drive your God suit? Have you ever thought of attempting to become balanced with your usage of your life energy? Yes, we all have life energy. Yes, we do take it for granted our life energizes. Know that the God suit has an input side and an output side which cross over energy fields in the center of our two hemispheres. The center of our brains is like a hard drive in our computer. The scientists of today call it the corpus callosum, the center that joins us all together. Without the center transmitting thought emotions to the entire body, the God suit won't work correctly. In fact, with the training we have had on our God suits, it's amazing we have got as far as we have. Our education is 100% based on materialism. Is that not true? In this country we are either trained to be part of the slave owners, or be the slaves. Now what do I mean by this statement? Okay, if you're the boss, you hire people to do their work you assign these people to do. Now you do not own these people, you are renting these people so that you as the boss makes lots of money. Am I right? The unions of this country are heroes of most working folks. Imagine if the slave owners have to pay a fair living wage? Come on folks, do see the problem. Our knowledge about how our God suits works is imperative for us to regain the power of our God potential life. The God suit works on thought. Some of the thought in the God suit is generated automatically, like breathing, digestion, and many other auto body movements that happen 24 hours a day, every day, all designed that way. That's all good. But what I am sharing with you is the exploration your thought energy system. The God suit is designed for full usage, a full range of total body movement. Okay, you may ask me at this point, why do I need to care about this? Great question. Have you ever heard of the field of energy we all live in, gravity? Gravity in essence, grabs on the me side of us all. What happens inside with your thought energy field? Here is the final issue that is never discussed. Hold on to your medical hat, the side of the God suit, human body, that is used the least during someone's lifetime has the most cellular, muscle and tissue damage at death in the God suit. In other words, if you don't use it you will lose it. So here is a good question for you. Are you left or right-sided? Think about it. Don't you have two good sides? Two good hands and feet, two ears, two eyes, two nostrils. Think about it, you are the only one who is in control of your God suit. No one has any power over you unless you give them that power. The educational system has failed us all. Yes, we need to review what we are being taught. We need to encourage self-inspection and self-introspection about what we really need to be trained in. Why don't they teach us about us? Well, could it be that they, who want to control us, do not want you and me to even find out that there is a us inside all of us? They do not want you to know you can control your us as a centered energy field and have this e-field change your life immediately. Let's keep it simple. To engage the us-centered energy systems you have to learn to alternate energy usage from one side to the other side. The Passover celebration is all about passing over the duties of energy. You are right-handed because that is the side you were told to use in school. One of the first great lies, we have two good hands that want to be educated. Not one Sadie set up like a king and the other side is treated like a migrant worker. These one-sided educators perhaps didn't know what harm they really are doing to the youth that are being told how to drive our bodies, right? Well then, what's left? What's left is our other side of us. This side of the God suit is the collector for all data. It is like a vacuum sucking up energy constantly. The name God gave to this side of the God suit as ye. The name God and his designers gave to other side is me. Now, me is designed to be an output side of us, energy system we all live within now. What they didn't tell us about our God suits is that when you are younger your input and output systems seem to work together fairly evenly. Which is the way we are supposed to drive our God suits. However, repetitive emotion has some very strong effects within the God suit. When you think about anything, that thought generates increased blood supply or decreased blood circulation has effects on the God suit. The Bible states that life is within our blood supply. So your thought energy directly affects your blood supply and the path of your blood circulations. Your blood has to pump through the God suit 24 hours a day. The brain dies if it cut off from fresh blood being circulated within the brain and the entire body. When blood supply is cut off, as in a blood clot in the brain, in most cases the side of the God suit that is affected by fresh blood being pumped through basically dies. This is called a stroke. For most God suits, the side of the God suit that was used the least gets the stroke. For 90% of all severe stroke cases, it is the left-hand side of the body. This is caused by several things, but mostly an inability to moderate emotional usage within our own selves. Perhaps you heard this statement before: energy follows thought. The control of your thought is crucially the point of this writing. Controlling your thought and controlling your God suit usage is really the key. We need to alternate our energy usage for our God suit's maximum capabilities. This is where I am going from on this issue. One street of all, I know that God created everything everywhere, including our God suits. So think of the usage of the body as a balancing act. It's almost like a dance: move this way, then move the other. God's dance of grace is us. Moses put it this way in the original 10 Commandments. Metaphysically, he said, "Ye shall not turn aside to the right hand or to the left, but ye shall walk in all the ways, so that ye will prolong the days in the land that you shall possess." In other words, over 3,000 years ago, Moses was telling us all to be whole and evenly balanced for the fully featured God life. We all are riding in God's man machine, and you are the driver. So because of gravity, God's spell on earth, the God suit just needs to be reminded to think about the less used ye side of us. Remember, energy always follows your thought. So this brings me to this subject of the real name of Christ. 402 years ago, someone who called themselves Jews actually changed the ancient Hebrew alphabet by adding into the Hebrew faith the letter J. Before that change, there was never a letter J in the Hebrew faith. The name of being YesUs is the Hebrew faith's name under the Hebrew laws. The key is for us to understand the power of the thought word of ye. The word yes has meaning and is a very positive word indeed. However, it is not the same word of Jesus. Think about it. This is a problem for many sects of Christianity because all that they have been told is what they tell us. Sad, but they cannot answer this question because it is not in their data doctrine from the ancient times. If we all have two good sides, arms, legs, everything divided and joined in our center, which is all joined into our us. If we have all of these items designed to be controlled by us in our God suits, is this not a fair statement? I mean, it is your body. No one can tell you what to do with your body unless you allow what is being asked of is done by you. Is this not true? Here's the question you will never, until now, ever hear any preacher or pastor tell you that Jesus artist was whole and he used his entire God suit body in a balanced, grace-filled usage of divine moderation of emotional living God energy. The name of Christ was given by God to Mary and Joseph. They were told to call him and should be spoken as YesUs. Remember this God's divine plan. Why do I say this? Well, just by thinking the thought of our YesUs sends full thought energy to the ye side within all of us. This thought sends a thought recharge to every ye cell within. YesUs tells the truth. Think about it.